Hola! Your dream vacation to Thailand starts from 19,999 only with GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.
For my first film, I was written off. Some of my performances were rightly written off also. I'll admit it. I've been trolled.
But I think when my mom passed away, or maybe when she was ill for 3 years, and she really fought every single day. And seeing your mother go through that with so much, like she was struggling for her survival.
It made me recall my father's illness, and that was very, very hard because his prognosis was not good from day one. And, to see someone degenerate and decay, and someone like my father who loved life and who had this larger-than-life personality, that was probably the hardest. Yes, for me, I miss him as an elder. Someone I could rely on for advice, or having an elder in life. I think I ran amok after I lost him.
I think, when I was trying to transition from television to web or films, I did do a lot of tests, I did go for a lot of meetings, and the rejection after rejection that you get, not because you can't act, because you come from television. At some point I was like, should I give?
Things about 3 to 4 years, and nobody was taking my calls, and there was nothing. When we finished writing Kaante, I'd gone to every top producer in the business because I was not a producer then. And I went to everybody, and everybody would tell me, "Arey yaar, Sanjay, ye kya hai? Sab 40 plus heroes hai," because this was the era of your heartthrobs. So ye sab, 40 plus heroes hai. Picture में म्यूजिक नहीं होगा, एंटरटेनमेंट का स्कोप नहीं है, ह्यूमर का स्कोप नहीं है. When Kaante released, it was on the 20th of December 2002, and on the 27th of December, the very next Friday, I was returning from my farmhouse in Khandala, and I met with an accident, and it was a life-threatening accident, and I spent a good 11 weeks in the ICU in Lilavati. Sanju never hurt me. Sanju never hurt me. I mean, till today, nobody knows. Probably we ourselves don't know what went wrong.
Like we just discussed, that Galatta in Tamil means explosion, and explosion in Hindi means Visfot, if I'm not mistaken. And I have the entire team of Visfot joining for a conversation only on Galatta India. Thank you guys for doing this.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Firstly, I want to ask both of you that the last that we saw Fardeen and Riteish in the movie, it's something that has defined a lot of our teenage years, childhood, everything. It was a fun film. What made you think that for this intriguing drama, it's a gritty drama, right, where they're facing each other almost, what made you think that they, from comedy to drama, what made you think of them?
I think they've had enough fun. It was time to get serious.
That is true.
Yeah.
I agree. What about you? What do you think?
We want to now define your grown-up self, right?
Yeah.
They defined your childhood. Now your grown-up self with
There's
this
a lot
something.
of explosion.
Once you grow up, you realize life's not that funny and serious.
Yeah. It's very, very twisted.
Yeah. You last time when we were sitting here and doing your interview for Khel Mein, in one of the interviews, you guys actually called up Riteish because you guys had forgotten where you guys shot Hey Baby, is what I saw.
Melbourne or something.
Yeah.
Again, you forgot?
Yeah.
Yeah, he forgot, and then Akshay sir actually called Riteish, or Riteish called them. Then you did a video, all three of you.
Yeah.
The bond and the friendship has remained, although you have not worked in the industry for 12 years. Actually, Riteish has always spoken fondly of you, and you guys have been in touch.
Yes.
Reuniting on screen, was it the same that it was when you did it for Hey Baby?
It was a long gap. Lot transpires. For us actors, your life experience is your resource. So I mean, for me, you're seeing a more mature version. Even though Riteish and me have been in touch throughout my, and I've actually become much closer to him as a friend in that gap of 12 years. So there's more trust. There's that much more respect. There's more understanding, and that just it makes working together that much easier and more of a joy. So even though, and we were both cast against type, so that really gave it an interesting dynamic. I think he was seeing a different aspect of me as an actor. I was seeing a different aspect of him as an actor. So that was just, very, very interesting for both of us.
honestly, I'm a 90s kid. So, of course, my growing up years has been the early 2000s, and we've grown up watching you and Riteish and Akshay and all of that. Even till date, the amount of aura, like you guys can also speak about, like we're from the same generation, the amount of aura, the amount of love, and the amount of belief that I think the industry and the audience has in that generation is higher than today's generation as filmmakers, if you can speak for it, and if we can speak for it as people seeing them.
Of course, I think, when I got to know that I'm opposite Fardeen, I was like, wow, that's my childhood crush. Like, I've watched him, I've called up ITV and requested his songs back to back. So I know.
Tell me all this during the making of the movie.
I mean, yeah, I was trying to be a serious actor. No, but, all of us have been fans growing up, and just getting to see him do what he does with so much of honesty, I think was amazing. I was just like, okay, he's like reading, he's into the character, and it's a very different character from what he is actually. So the language is very different, the look is very different, and he did it with so much ease. I mean, at least it came across with so much ease. He went through maybe quite a lot.
We were there. We did all our readings
Yes.
and all the
So,
working together.
I think for me it was like, yay, I did it. First film Amitabh Bachchan, second film Fardeen Khan, I'm there.
What about you?
I think, as she rightly said, we grew up watching these stars on screen,
Absolutely.
big cinema. And you aspired to become an actor watching their performances, and now you get to share a screen with them is a dream come true. So there's no question about that. But I also believe that why they have sustained in the industry is because of their talent. Okay, you like their performances, you love watching all the old films in the 90s. I am a 90s kid too. So I love going back to that cinema, and I love, spending time watching only that cinema. But that's because they are talented and they have worked on their craft. And I believe that so does today's generation. They do it. I wouldn't say that they don't. It's just that the social media and the entertainment has become so, like, you have so many options available now than what it was earlier.
There's easy access.
Yeah. So I think that's why the comparison. But see, एक बार अगर बचपन में जो दिल आता है तो दिल आता है. Then you can't change that.
हमारे generation का वही problem है ना कि loyalty मतलब
पूरी
एकदम
loyalty.
पक्की है. ये
We don't
shift
understand
नहीं होती.
situationships.
That's true. That's true. You have been a very honest and a blunt filmmaker. Like, you've said things, whatever you felt. You have never feared judgment or controversies. What would be your take? Like, because you have worked with that generation so much that you understand, you've given them a lot of films that they can boast of, and they have also given you performances that you can boast of as a filmmaker, right? Today's generation and that generation, what is the difference that you see? Like when we spoke to Salman sir, he said that, the difference is that we were way more secure. We never had this issue of like कि इसका रोल ज्यादा है तो नहीं करेंगे. हम लोगों ने बहुत सारे मल्टी स्टारर्स किया. आज के ज़माने में कोई मल्टी स्टारर्स करना नहीं चाहता है and all of that. What is that thing that you think differentiates this generation from that generation of actors?
The directors, the filmmakers. We grew up on filmmakers like J.P. Datta, Mukul Anand, Mani Ratnam, Ramesh Sippy, Feroze Khan, Manoj Kumar. These guys have grown up. I'm not trying to belittle the directors, but our heroes when we were growing up were Vinod Khanna and Feroze Khan and Amitabh Bachchan and Dharmender, and then later it turned to Jackie, Sanju, Anil. So I say that we grew up on men. These guys have grown up on boys. So there's a big difference there. The last 25 years, I mean, I don't think, apart from Ramu and me, there have been too many filmmakers making the kind of films that we made, because the dynamic shifted to, first it shifted to pleasing the overseas audience, then it shifted to pleasing the critics. So somewhere the masala filmmaking kind of withered, and I feel sorry for this generation that they didn't have too many of us.
Yeah. What's the worst point of criticism that you have read in any review?
I never read. I make a lot of fun about it. There's this one critic, what's his name? I'll give you his name. No point just saying there was a critic. Yeah. He was Ekta's CEO for the longest time. Tanuj Garg. So I remember when Kaante came out, this guy gave a headline. Now everybody knows what Kaante was and it got all its reviews and everything. But Tanuj Garg was the only one who said that I'm giving this film half a star because it's Christmas time and I'm in a festive mood. So, one has dealt with all this. I didn't have the sense, or I didn't have the intelligence of a George Lucas to make a t-shirt out of it. George Lucas had actually made t-shirts of the reviews of Star Wars. No, yeah. yeah. So he used to proudly wear that review where people said that this film is, no head or tail and this and that and everything. And he would, so yeah, but someday I will make that t-shirt.
What about you? Do you read any point of criticism that really hit you?
Oh, yes. For my first film, I was written off. Some of my performances were rightly written off also. I'll admit it. I've been trolled. So they all hurt. I don't want to make light of it because it's an ongoing conversation right now. Especially it's so easy for everyone to have an opinion and everyone's empowered with social media. But yes, it's painful. But you learn to develop thick skin. You learn to dig deep. You learn to believe in yourself. You learn to just shut the noise out. You learn to focus on what you can control, and you keep it simple. And you just march on.
Visfot is also about all the characters being in a challenging situation in their life, right? If I have to ask you, what has been the most challenging time or period of your life that you have witnessed or just heard of? Like something that you have gone through, experienced or witnessed that you would remember today as a lesson, maybe? Anything?
Yeah, I guess professionally, when Prince didn't work for me as much as it should have, I took a break from directing, and at that time, I think I could have gone and done something else, but I stuck to this. So I came back, and today, as you said, whenever greats write reviews or the greats write any other stuff, now I can deal with it much better. That time I took it a little personally. I said, man, I really tried hard, and what happened. But I realized they didn't understand what I was trying to say at that time. Maybe I was not as good as at that time. So just take it and move on. So I think, that's pretty much it.
Okay, I've never shared this ever in my life, but I think when my mom passed away, or maybe when she was ill for 3 years, and she really fought every single day. And seeing your mother go through that and fight it with so much, like she was struggling for her survival. But I think that gave me a lot of inspiration to see her at that age fighting for every single day and every single breath. In all that, whenever there were moments, she used to smile and she used to, put her hand on my head. I think those moments were something that taught me a lot in life, never to give up and to keep fighting for your, whether it is survival or whether where you want to achieve, what you want to become, anything, just keep at it. I think my mother has been a biggest inspiration, and that entire 4 years journey of hers taught me a lot in life.
But was it difficult for you to process that grief?
Of course it was. Because obviously you're seeing your mother going through something, and you also objectively have to be a caregiver. That is very difficult. I don't want to make it too emotional, so I'm just going to keep it.
It's difficult for sure.
Yeah.
I think, when I was trying to transition from television to web or films, I did do a lot of tests, I did go for a lot of meetings, and the rejection after rejection that you get, not because you can't act, because you come from television. At some point I was like, should I give up? Should I not try? Should I go back to television, which I love TV. But it was too much of a commitment of just going to the same set for 2 years at a stretch, playing the same character for 2 years. I'm an actor. I want to do different roles. So not getting stuck to one. But I think if I would have given up at that point, maybe I would be happy, go back to television, enjoy. But I didn't. I really wanted to do it. I really wanted to make it. And the day that, Chehre happened for me, I have howled and cried that thank God I waited. Thank God I did this for myself. So I think, that's something that gave me that feeling that, sometimes you're just one step away. So don't turn around, just take the steps. You'll reach.
Yeah, you know, a lot of actors who have actually started off with TV or come from a TV background, they have said this, that they've often been told that they're too overexposed and they are not. Do you feel that there is this judgment already or a preconceived notion about actors? Because today we are living in a time where even Wikipedia doesn't consider you as a web actor, regional actor,
Exactly.
Tamil actor.
You're
It's
an
Indian
actor.
actor
Yeah.
who works predominantly in whichever spheres, right? So there is a shift in people's mentality. But do you still feel that the industry's mentality towards artists have
Yes.
not really changed?
Absolutely, I feel that. I mean, I've been blessed with a good director, good producer, and all that. But I've heard this time and again, even recently, that, oh, but that's a television face. I'm like, I've left television 2017. Like, get over it.
What about you? What's been the most challenging phase of your life?
Just hearing Priya talk about her mother's passing would definitely recalled made me recall my father's illness, and that was very, very hard because his prognosis was not good from day one. And to see someone degenerate and decay, and someone like my father who loved life and who had this larger than life personality, that was probably the hardest. Yes, yeah.
But how much time did you take to deal with it? Like, because the process of grief starts from the time that you get to know, right? And then something happens, and then you have to deal with it even more. Because, you know, I have this constant anxiety and fear. And unfortunately, like they say, that Google keeps listening to what you're thinking, or they just know. So all these times you will get those reels or those videos where somebody's lost a loved one, and my heart goes out to them, but I'm the worst with condolence messages. I feel like it's like something that's never gonna change what has happened. But everybody has a different way to deal with grief and process grief. How much time did it take for you to deal with it? Because you also came with that image, right? So you couldn't have shown it out to the world possibly.
That's not something that crossed my mind. I think grief is grief, but whether you choose to share it or you choose to internalize it, that's a choice you make. But I mean, even you might be grieving, but doesn't necessarily mean you're to burden everyone around you with your grief. But the ones you love and the ones who are close to you, you know, who care about you enough, they partake in your grief, and your grief also becomes their grief, and they help you get through it. And the only way to get over grieving is to feel more love, and receive more love, and give love. And it's one of life's basic truth, death and taxes, as they say. So I think, you know, once you come to terms with that, you surrender to it, you accept it for what it is. It doesn't make it easier, but you just accept it as one of life's basic truths, probably most absolute truths. And I mean, the vacuum of someone you lose is always there. I mean, for me, I miss him as an elder, you know, someone I could rely on for advice, or having an elder in life. I think I ran amok after I lost him, so I ran a little amok. Let me just keep it easy. but yeah, he did keep me in line to some extent.
But were you scared of him? Like, you play a father here. You know, sorry, you don't play a father here, but you are actually almost like a father figure to somebody you've almost kidnapped. I want to know that you're a father in real life. Are you different as a father from how your father was to you?
Oh yes. I mean, you learn from. I mean, no parent is perfect. Let's just put it that way. You know, but all you have to know is parents try and do their best. Of course, the 70s, when I grew, you know, they had a different parenting culture, and you know, there's a different parenting culture today. I try and get the best of, you know, what worked for me, and there are some things that I wish my parents had done differently, which I apply to my children, you know. But you know, one thing which I definitely learned from my dad was, you know, tough love. You know, he didn't make it easy for you, and he was one of those kinds of people, because he didn't have an easy life at all. So I mean, with my children, yes, they know I love them, but they're not indulged, or they're never made to feel entitled, and you know, so I mean, I call them out on their
Wrongdoings.
not wrongdoings. They're children. They're meant to do
Children, yeah,
wrong,
kids.
but there's a way. Like with me, with my dad, I was petrified of him. I don't want my children to be scared of me, but at the same time, I want them to take me seriously, and and know that whatever it is, it's for their benefit, and hopefully, I mean, you're a child. How much can you teach them? I mean, they all have their own journeys, but you got to teach them to, basically. When you fail, when you make mistakes, it's part of the learning, and how do you get up? And you got to make them feel secure and loved, because that's all they want. Security and love. That's it. And if you can give them that, it's like there was this person who said the greatest gift you can give your child is your own happiness. So
That's so true.
So that's something that even if I'm going through a tough time, even if I'm in a spot where sometimes my children become like monsters to me, I don't let them know about it. But I have failed on occasion. But
you're honest enough to admit it. That's the most important thing. Sir, you have faced a lot in life for being the person you are, for being unabashedly honest. There was a point of time where you had gone on record saying that there was a point of time when nobody wanted to work with you. That as a filmmaker, as a director, as a producer, was that the most challenging thing, or have you faced even more challenges than that?
No, that was definitely the most challenging time. I think it was about 3 to 4 years, and nobody was taking my calls, and there was nothing. So, and I am a very, very firm believer that I'm not really a believer in destiny, so to speak. I'm a believer in karma, and what goes around comes around. And I just spent nearly 3 to 4 years questioning myself that who have I harmed? Who did I wrong that this is happening to me? And I could not find an answer for that, And then kind of life just goes up, it goes down, it goes back up. That's it.
What is that one film that you felt that nobody believed in, which you did, and eventually everybody got proved wrong?
Kaante. When we finished writing Kaante, I'd gone to every top producer in the business because I was not a producer then. And I went to everybody, and everybody would tell me, अरे यार संजय ये क्या है सब 40 plus heroes है because this was the era of your heartthrobs, so ये सब 40 plus heroes है, मिक्सचर में म्यूजिक नहीं होगा, एंटरटेनमेंट का स्कोप नहीं है, ह्यूमर का स्कोप नहीं है, and I would constantly tell them that everything you're saying is going to be the USB of this film, but they could not, they couldn't see that, and that was one of the reasons why Sanjay and me decided to launch this company. And as a matter of fact, the first name that we had thought of was Our Kind of Films, because there's a certain cinema that we believed in, we wanted to make, which we would not find backers. Later it turned into White Feather, but yeah. So that was one of those phases where they didn't get what was in our head and what we were trying to do.
But did they reach out to you after it released?
All of them.
What did they say?
No, nothing. They said, oh, no, it was wonderful and this, that, and everything. So yeah, see what happened was when Kaante released, it was on the 20th of December, 2002. And on the 27th of December, the very next Friday, I was returning from my farmhouse in Khandala, and I met with an accident. And it was a life-threatening accident, and I spent a good 11 weeks in the ICU in Lilavati. And then I came out, and then I had to kind of, But that was also the first time I was nominated for Filmfare as Best Director, Best Film, and all of that. And I said, nothing, I'm going to go for this, for the award function. And I'd lost a lot of weight and everything. So I got a new suit made. I bought myself a new car because my car had totaled. And I got ready and I went in, and they were doing it at BKC. And that moment is something I will never forget in my life, because the minute I walked the red carpet, nobody was expecting me there, one. The way I was greeted and treated by everybody around, but because there were two reasons. One was I'd just come out of the hospital and I was, it was really bad in the hospital. And the film was a huge success. So finally I'd found that acceptance. And at that point of time, I told myself, I said, life is never going to be the same after this. That was that moment. But it was a combination of success and sympathy. Yeah. Yeah.
You said that you were starting you decided to start the production house and production company with Sanjay Dutt. You have had long-standing friendship. They say that friendship breakups hurt more than relationship breakups. When it actually happened, when there was a fallout, did it hurt you the most? Did you ever go back and introspect?
No, nothing.
Why
It didn't hurt me as Sanju never hurt me. Sanju never hurt me. I mean, till today, nobody knows. Probably we ourselves don't know what went wrong. But what did go wrong was a lot of people who were around, who were creating a lot of shit, and both of us just, without even discussing with each other, but we just maintained a dignified silence, and like it was nobody's business. That's it.
Now coming to you, before ending, I have to tell you that this has been your year after Hira Mandi. Hira Mandi was amazing, but I think you were outstanding in Khel Mein.
Thank you.
Honestly, out of all releases, and I'm going to say it out aloud because I don't know how many would, I enjoyed Khel Mein the most out of all the releases that weekend. And I know that numbers can tell a different story. Of course, I enjoyed the other film as well, but I laughed my guts out. We have watched this in T-Series here only, and I have never, it's very rare that you walk into a press screening and the press is enjoying so much that they're laughing, they're bawling, and especially like you, Taapsee, the whole mobile phone exchange scene. And then I spoke to Mudassar, and Mudassar said...
all credit to him. It was a very difficult film to adapt, and the way he balanced entertainment and relevance, and the issues that he chose to bring about, and for us actors, it was like gold. We just had to work off the lines. He did it all.
Yeah, because the original is a lot more sexist in approach towards the ending, but this wasn't. And the kind of treatment and the kind of topics that he raised, especially with your character, I actually spoke to him. He said that when you were filming that particular scene, which was your confrontational scene, and you were coming out to your friends, you said that you want to do it first scene in the day.
Yes.
And then you had given the first take, and there was Akshay Kumar on the side and was not a part of the script. And Akshay sir apparently started crying, seeing you act out the scene. Was that exactly what happened?
Yes, everyone was moved during that scene, yes, including Aditya, Taapsee, and Amy, and there was pin drop silence. So yeah, it was a nice moment for me as an actor.
Kudos to you for doing something like that, and I hope that the whole success is reciprocated with Visfot as well, because it's got an amazing team. And I hope that we sit down for another success interview with Riteish also, because Riteish, we love you.
Yes.
I have to say this, otherwise you're going to kill us. Riteish is again somebody who has made sure that cinema has no boundaries, to be very honest, when we look at cinema. And yes, of course, for you also, because I wanted to say this to you, that today we are at a space where Wikipedia also acknowledges that there is no regional actor, there's no regional films, there's nothing, it's all one, and we are all one, which is Indian film fraternity. And thank you for doing this. I hope that the film does really, really well.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hola! Your dream vacation to Thailand starts from 19,999 only with GT Holidays, South India's #1 travel brand.